Good morning, everyone. It's me, Shane Lee. I'm gonna go out today and show you where we used to live behind the Chatham City Apartments and stuff like that. Of course, someone is suggesting I might be forgetting to lock my door or something, I guess. But anyway, looks like Mr. Thompson is home and Thomas is home. Oops, I left my car key. That would help. Now, when we were children, I don't know what your family taught you. Most of us was taught to be responsible and lock your door every time you leave the house. And if you're the last person to leave the house as well. Now, if you had a key, you were responsible for locking the door every time you left the house. Things like that. And he said it too. Alright, so that's the second time I locked the door. Because that's a habit we all have since we were children, right? Or growing up here in the South. Can't say for your neck of the woods. But for mine, that's just our habit. Now I'm also going to show you that was just a brief snippet of a song before I turned it down. Don't even know what it was. It's about 7:39 in the morning. It's the 10th of June, 2017. 70 degrees outside. Nice June day. Now it could be getting up into the 90s today as far as the heat. And they say the heat index could be around 100 or so. Now, down south, you have a heat index on top of your weather. Like in Arizona, it's like a dry heat, but here in the south you get what's called humidity, and that's why it's different here in the south. Just a little bit of meteorology there for you this morning. So that's from watching Pat Percott on WTOC and the other channels sometimes. Now there are three main channels I grew up with: WTOC, WSAV, and WJCL. Now, when I was a teen, we got WTGS, which is Fox. And when Fox first came out, then they were trying to be more independent, and they would even air full movies, even if they were rated R and stuff like that. Like one of the first movies they aired was Logan's Run. And if you're familiar with that movie, when they get to the ice cave, you see a bunch of people naked, surrounded, encased in ice, and then they make it to the outside world, and they're trying to stop a law where everyone would kill themselves when they were 25 or something like that, or 22 somewhere in there. And that was the main emphasis of Logan's Run. It also became a TV series for a while. And then, of course, there's Battlestar Galactica and shows like that, and Buck Rogers in the 21st century or something like, or 25th century. Star Trek, of course, everyone's heard of that. Dukes of Hazzard. There was Columbo, Barnaby Jones, Perry Mason. Let's see. There's Phil Donahue, who was the first talk show host, and Andy Griffith. They had the Rat Patrol, which was about World War II Jeep Patrol in Africa who would fight the Germans. Alright, they also had, of course, y'all remember Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, let's see, what else? Sanford and Son, Good Times, and then on cartoons they had Dungeons and Dragons, which dealt with the card game. That was more in the 80s though. And they also had Godzilla cartoon, and let's see, Bugs Bunny, of course, or Looney Tunes. They had Tarzan. And he'd go swinging like that, and yell like that, and call all the animals to him. And let's see, we had a Spider-Man show, but it was more campy in the 70s. And what else? They had Incredible Hulk with Lou Ferrigno and Bill Bixby, where Bill Bixby played Val Benner, David Benner, and Lou Ferrigno was the Hulk. And let's see, in the 80s they also had The Master with Sho Kosugi and Lee Van Cleef, and Timothy Van Patten played his protege, the guy he was training to be a ninja with him. And let's see, they had the series Batman, of course, with Adam West and I forget the guys and stuff like that. And Wonder Woman, of course, with Linda Carter, and thought Linda looked hot in her little one piece. But I was a kid then. I sort of liked women early, unlike other guys, but I don't judge. But I myself prefer females to males, or intersex people. Just the penis don't turn me on at all, nor the butt. I've never had anal or butt sex, and not really into it. I don't use dildos on myself or anything. Don't even own one. I do have a penis pump, but I never really used it. Or penis rings, which are supposed to make your penis bigger, but they're too big. They're too small for my penis. Go figure. Go figure. Now, when on soft, I'm about as thick as a roll of nickels, and when hard, I'm about as thick as a roll of quarters, maybe a little bit thicker, between a quarter and $0.50. Now, my grandma, when I was younger, gave me a $2 bill, which my mom put in a photo album. Now, $2 bills are rare nowadays, but my mom had one, and she gave it to me. And she had it with a big picture of me as a baby. I was in I looked more like a girl, like I told you before. And when I was trying to change my shirt, she took it off in a barbershop in the mall, and they started laughing because they thought I was a girl or something. And sometimes I was picked on a little bit, like I said. One little boy in the bathroom wanted to see my penis, make sure I was a little boy before he let me leave the stall. Well, I was sort of forced to show him, so I did, and he let it go. So anyway, other than that, don't know what else I can really tell you right off the cuff. I'll show you also the Burger King Mom used to live in. I think you guys have a chance to make it out there. And she used to work at the Burger King near on Victory Drive. I think now it's a Chinese place, but they still have the building where she used to work. Now I'll also show you another gym I used to work out. That's on 80 near Dean Forest, and I'll show you where Debbie used to live, and stuff like that, and her mother. Now, sometimes in desperate means, we would, use marijuana as an income, because we didn't have much of money back then. So we would, look out for the DEA, and we had a little ingrown, what they call a nursery, with lights and aluminum foil on the wall to reflect the light similar to the sun, things like that. Now the house we used to live in is teared down, but I'll show you where Grange Road used to be. Which that's coming up ahead. Like the Fort Worth Police Department called them someone. But anyway, up ahead, right here is Grange Road. There used to be a lounge there called Pop's Lounge, but they tore that down and built a house, it looks like. Now, I'll also show you where we used to live off of Pennsylvania Avenue and stuff like that, since we're going out that way. Well, I'm going to show you the convenience store where I had the one night stand with the cashier real quick, and then I'll go by the Chatham City Apartments, which that's just a little detour here. Now, when I was living at 185A Smith Avenue, I would walk from the end of this road to the end of that road. Now, this here was where I was at when the guy pulled in on me. I was in the sidewalk here, and I knocked him a little silly, and he had to sit down. And there's a chair right there, and it was a barber shop then, or a salon, and that's where I used to live, 185 8th Fifth Avenue. Someone else lives there now, so I don't be sending threatening letters to the old address anymore. If you are. Now, I'm sort of doing the opposite of what everyone says to do in a way. And the reason for that is, you know, I don't want to hide anything. And even the stars in Beverly Hills, you know, people do tours of their houses. So, you know, I ain't been out that way yet, but that's fine. Now, sometimes I'll just walk down to the railroad track. This here is about half a mile to begin with, and the whole thing is a whole mile, and it'll take me about 30 minutes to walk down to the railroad track, or an hour, or really more like 50 minutes to walk down to the end of the road. Now, if I felt like it, I would walk the whole block. What I mean by that is, this here is Main Street, and I would walk down this way to what's called Rommel Avenue. And Mom used to live here at 91A Main Street, and Joe and his wife. And right here is Rommel Avenue. See right there. And that leads back to 21. Now, there used to be some apartments over here next to the fire department, but the Georgia Ports took them over right here. I used to eat lunch out there sometimes. That used to be a Spanish restaurant. Now up here, see this here's the convenience store where I had the affair with the girl, one night stand. It's now the guest and more. But she took me to the back room in the back of the store. We had a little thing. I also met a girl here at the Carroll Motel. She took me to her room, and I paid her $20 to have sex. And then I called back later, and her boyfriend, her husband, was there, and I said, "Can I speak to so and so?" And he got mad and hung up the phone or something. I didn't care. I mean, I was just, I figured it was rude not to ask for the girl if I had already called for her. Whatever. Now, I don't remember where the older woman lived who I had an affair with, but she was like in her around 45 or so, she said. And I was like 5 myself. So there's about a 20-year age difference there. But that too was a one-night stand. Because when I came back, her boyfriend had moved back in and stuff like that. So, anyway. Alright, and up ahead is the bus stop. Where at Chatham City you can catch the bus to go downtown. And when I was working at Leisure Drive and was working for Stafford Auto Paint, I again would catch the bus. See, they have certain stops along the route. See right here, the little green sign with the bus icon, that's the stop sign. And there's one right there, right here. And I would catch the bus sometimes to go to work at Stafford Auto Paint. And right up ahead, I didn't show you the other day, but this here is Chatham City Apartments. Now, if I'm right, we lived either in this one, and it was the bottom floor, or maybe this one. Yeah, I think it was this one. And anyway, I'll show you when we get on around to the actual places. Oops, hit a little pothole. Woman, if I remember correctly, she lived around this area, I think, somewhere around here, one of these. Now, I was fighting for when I went schizophrenic until I went to Bethesda, Maryland. But this here is our old apartment complex. Now, let's see if I can remember correctly. Like I said, yeah, we lived in that apartment, and it was around this tree here that I showed the little girl my penis, and I think she lived over here. The boy I got into a fight with was in a box over here, and let's see, Degrati and Cassie also lived here with us. And they lived over there. In these apartments over here. So that's where we used to live. Mark and little Roddy and Kathy and Big Roddy. And we lived in the other apartment complex. That's about, where we live in Garden City that I haven't already shown you. Anyway. Now, I lived in a trailer when I was living on Main Street for a while, and then I moved to an apartment, which was a 2-bedroom apartment because the couple moved out who were living there. Alright, now I'm going to take you to Victory Drive and then Skidaway. And then on the way home, I'll show you the place I used to lift weights, besides Randall's. And then I'll take you down to Debbie's, and that'll be it for today. When we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. Now, some people think when you're at an end, that's it. But the universe can also make an ending a new beginning. Because even the seed must die and to release the plant within it and change form, as with a caterpillar into a butterfly or moth. Caterpillar must metamorphose into a butterfly, which means it changes its form. Now, the caterpillar is one of the most interesting creatures in nature, because to some people it starts out ugly but then becomes a beautiful creature, and that's how Satan sees us, as ugly mudbloods or something like that, like Harry Potter. And again, people just get so superstitious sometimes, like John Hagee or any crazy Christian who enacts the Salem witch trials, and that's like that God really hates witches. Now, what God hated was actually where a person would do ventriloquism with a board and would act like it was the dead speaking when they really knew it was them. Now, that's not like the mediums today who try to contact the spirit through asking questions and, listening to their inner voice as well, like Tyler on E, or even Edwards and people like that. Now, some people consider it a cold reading because the psychic asks questions, right, and looks through the audience to see if anyone is familiar with the message they're receiving. But But I try not to deal with the dead too much, unless it's Jesus or something. And I did tell Sheena in one of my letters I was hearing from Paul, who was telling me that he was wrong about women not being able to speak in the church and stuff like that. And up ahead is 37th Street. And you can go left, and that'll take you on downtown to downtown Savannah. And I'll show you another time where the Crystal used to be and where we used to work for Florida and stuff like that. Now, I quit Baldina's in Florida Daniels because I was trying to join the Navy. And also, and that's the one in Garden City. Now, they have a Baldina's in Garden City and one in White Bluff. And Mom used to work at a substation in the Garden City shopping plaza. But that went out of business a long time ago. Might have been I forgot what it was called. But she used to work there, and I worked at the Revco, which was in the same shopping center. So anyway. Play a clip of Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which is on the river right now. Alright. Phone rings in the middle of the night. And, you know, I used to listen to Cindy a lot. And cause growing up during the 80s, she was one of the most popular stars. And, of course, Aerosmith and Steve Miller did a little bit of 80s music. And then Journey came out real big in the 80s, and Kool and the Gang. And they had a song, "You dropped the bomb on me, baby. You dropped the bomb on me. But you turned me on, baby. You dropped the bomb on me." And basically it was about a man who was having sex with this girl who got pregnant. And that's what the song was about. And of course John Cougar also came out in the 80s. And his first song was Jack and Diane. About Jack and Diane, two American kids growing up in the heartland. Jackie gonna be a football star. Diane's days come back seat of Jackie's car. Sucking on chili dog outside taste the freeze. Diane sit on Jackie's lap, got his hand between his knees. And that was one of his first songs. He also did Pink Houses and Walls Come Tumbling Down. When the walls come tumbling down, when the walls. Alright, this is Victory Drive right here. Now, it was somewhere down here, on around Paulson Street or somewhere, where I got to. I was playing with this little girl and I had a toy clock. I think I might have hit her upside the head with it, maybe down Harmon or somewhere around there. And I guess I made her mom mad. I might have, made her cry and stuff like that, but I didn't know better. I grew out of such behavior, but I guess we were fighting over the toy or something. I took it from her and hit her over the head. Just childish things you do that you grow out of, hopefully. Now up ahead is Daffin Park, and after that is Grayson Stadium, and then on the left is WSAV, Channel 3 Savannah. Now, most schizophrenics have memory problems. They're often in a delusion or something like that. Well, unless mine's bipolar, I don't really know what else to call it. I don't know. Because, again, I remember pretty much everything from my childhood with scattered memories like everyone would have. And, not all the birthdays and Christmases as well, but, and anyway, this is Daffin Park. And then up ahead is Grayson Stadium. Now we got the Savannah Bananas. They used to be the Sand Gnats, and before that they were the Braves. The Bananas, yay! There's WSAV on the left. And up here is the Crystal, which again, now, since I'm going down Pennsylvania, I might can show you where the Crystal used to be in downtown. Now, I had another friend named Ricky who was acting like he can get me a Ford Mustang and stuff like that. And I also lent him like $20, but he never paid me back. That's alright. Bygones be bygones. He said it was black with tan interior and a 77 model, if I remember correctly. Alright, there used to be Johnny Harris's restaurant here, but they closed it down. Now up here, right, well, it's torn down, it looks like. But there used to be a Burger King. And I think we lived down, yep, this road here. All right.